June 8th.
You are listening to Weather with Enthusiasm.
Over the past couple of weeks, we've discussed the uniqueness of the synoptic weather setup over here in the Midwest. This was especially true for last week when temperatures went into the 90s for many days across many states, despite the fact we had northeast winds. Most people, to the average person, they would not be able to pick up on any type of unique development at all, since these are pretty much just normal temperatures for this time of the year. It's just that usually these types of temperatures come in on southwest winds and not northeast winds. Well, the question really, which we had to deal with, is that does such a unique synoptic weather setup lead to anything unique here on the surface? That really was the question. And the only thing I was able to think of is that perhaps the lake water temperatures are going to rise more significantly with this type of a setup. But yesterday, I think we have a more solid answer as we see all of the wildfire smoke moving in on northeast winds into the New York area, even more so Pennsylvania, and then last night into Baltimore, Washington DC, all of the major metro areas, and Chicago also has had its share of smoke in general. Bismarck, North Dakota on May 17th had smoke of thickness with such intensity that visibility dropped to a quarter of a mile. That's blizzard conditions. That's in a blizzard. Visibility, that's whiteout conditions, but here we're dealing with smoke. That's very intense stuff. That was due to a combination of wildfire smoke and a low pressure area that developed around there that brought all of the smoke down to the surface. The Dakotas many times have these unique features that kind of exaggerate things. In the New York area or the Pennsylvania area, usually the visibility was more than a mile. There was an area where the Baltimore BWI, or one of those airports over there, the visibility did drop to 3/4 of a mile at times due to the smoke. The good news is that the summer weather patterns generally always consist of southwest winds, stagnant air masses connected to the Bermuda High. They are connected to the Bermuda High. The weather pattern is not progressive in the summer like it is in the winter. So that it would be a nightmare like what we're seeing right now when you have these winds that blow out of Canada with a stagnant air mass. It's a complete nightmare. Granted, the fires are, they say, 7 times more intense this year, but even without that, we would have continuous smoke blowing down from Canada. But usually in the summertime, it's not progressive, but at the same time, the winds are from the southwest, which is a tremendous blessing. And anytime the winds do become from the north or northeast or from that direction, there usually is a more progressive weather pattern, at least a little bit. The thing is moving. So the fact that we have a stagnant air mass in place for such a long time is very unique. That's also connected to the low pressure system in the Northeast. See, there's one question you could ask on some of this, perhaps even all of it, is that there's 2 different stagnant air masses over here, and the real unique one that I've been focusing on the past couple of weeks is the Heatwave one, which has been here in the Midwest. The reason why this is trapped here is because of the low pressure, which is trapped on the Northeast. That's preventing this high pressure from moving eastward. That's also a stagnant air mass, but the two are actually connected. There is a connection, And we actually are seeing a lot of the warm and dry air is in Canada as a result of the air mass that we have over here. Another interesting thing to note is that the National Weather Service in New York yesterday was forecasting a chance of showers in some parts of that area, especially southeast Connecticut. And they removed that from the forecast because they said the smoke is producing a lot of stability to the point that there will no longer be any chance for showers in the area. This is an example of how the smoke affects the weather, and everything has a domino effect on each other, which makes things really complex. We will speak about smoke safety. We'll add it on at a different time. You've been listening to the podcast, Weather with Enthusiasm. Special guest on our show. What is your name? Temperatures going into the low hundreds for the next 3 days.
Holy cow!
The blackberry winter, that comes up every year here in the Midwest on May 11th. Several additional feet of snow is expected by Monday morning. This was in the forecast from a week ago, and the National Weather Service is finally acknowledging it today.
Conditions are favorable for the development of an El Nino.
We're going from one extreme to the next extreme. Despite the fact that it's 113 during the day and 46 at night, you could still do a little dance. Recorded temperatures during heat bursts have reached well above 104 degrees.
Oh my gosh.
Google Weather with Enthusiasm, and they're all going to come up.
Meteorologists have collected. Weather with Enthusiasm is his podcast.
The following trailer was updated June 7th, 2023.